Let's talk about fractions. I always say, I always tell my students in mathematics, before you learn the shortcut, it's better you learn the whole process. So we try to be as elaborate as we can. Fractions. As the word implies, fractions simply means the split of a whole or split of a group. About the mathematics, when we talk about fraction, we are talking about so when we talk about fraction, you have to keep in mind numbers. So let's take for instance a loaf of bread. This is quite a funny loaf, but let's take it for instance. A loaf of bread is split into six parts. One, two, three, four, five. This is the sixth part. So this bread has been split into six parts. It becomes a fraction. It's no longer a whole bread. So to represent this bread in mathematics, you get fractions in this form. By representing the whole of this bread is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 6. Now, the part of the bread which you are representing will be written here. If you are representing just one part, it will be 1 over 6. If you are representing two parts of this bread, it becomes 2 over 6. If it is three parts of the bread, it becomes 3 over 6. If it is four parts of the bread, it becomes 4 over 6. If it happens to be 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts of the bread, it becomes 5 over 6. And if it is the whole of the sixth part of it, it becomes 6 over 6. So this is what we call fraction. And this is the form of a fraction. Let me write it out here. Form of a fraction is a over b. So in maths, whenever you see any kind of mathematics that takes this form, it involves fractions. So this is the form of a fraction. So it takes me to the next thing I'm going to tell you about fractions. There are types of fractions. Fractions are not just limited to this. There are different types of fractions. Types of fractions. So there are three main types of fraction commonly known, but I'm going to add one more part just because of others that are going to further their learning in mathematics. So you won't be confused whenever you see. There are one proper fraction, two improper fraction, proper fraction. Three, mixed fraction. And the fourth one I'm going to add is algebraic fractions. So let me write out the forms of these fractions here, so you'll be able to identify them whenever you see them. Proper fraction takes this form: 1/2. This is the form of an improper fraction, 3/2. And then this is the form of a mixed fraction, 2 whole number, 3/4. And then this is an algebraic fraction, a/2. Okay, let me explain this. These four forms of fractions are commonly used in mathematics. Now, the first one, proper fraction, are fractions in which the numerator is lesser than the denominator. Take note, numerator and the denominator. So the upper number is called the numerator, which is 1, and then the lower number is called the denominator, which is 2. So in fractions, the number on top is the numerator and the number underneath is the denominator. So this is a proper fraction. It's a fraction in which the numerator is lesser than the denominator in value. Any fraction in this form is called a proper fraction. And then an improper fraction is a fraction in which the numerator is higher in value than the denominator. Any fraction in this form is called an improper fraction. And then a mixed fraction is any fraction in this form having a whole number, a numerator, and then a denominator. This is a mixed fraction. And then an algebraic fraction is any fraction that has alphabet and numbers mixed together. It is called an algebraic fraction. So this appears in mostly algebra and such related topics. You will get them there. So we're going to move on to the next thing you have to understand about fractions. Right, so still on fractions, the next thing we are talking about is things you have to note when dealing with fraction. Please, if you find this video, this content you're watching helpful, please do like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow and to reach out to more people like you. So, when dealing with fraction, you have to take note that there are some rules guiding any mathematical solving that involves fractions. Number one thing you have to take note of is LCM. It is a very, 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 very important factor that you have to take note of. When you know how to look for your LCM, you'll be able to easily solve any fraction, whether it comes in mixed form or improper form or proper form. Now the next thing you have to know is BODMAS. BODMAS. Also take note that this is not board mass, like most of my students do. Don't make this mistake. It is board mass. So this is an acronym of bracket of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Bracket represent B representing bracket, O representing of, D representing division, M representing multiplication, A representing addition, and S representing subtraction. You have to follow it in this order when you are solving fractions. If you do not follow it in this order, you are going to fail, no matter your answer. It is fail. So another thing you need to know is conversion of fraction. So every fraction can be converted, except when it is in its most simplified form. Conversion of fraction. If it is a mixed fraction, let's take for instance, it is 2/3/4. You can convert this to an improper fraction by doing these simple things. First, you multiply this, multiply the denominator by the whole number, or the whole number by the denominator. It is the same thing. So when 2 times 4 becomes 8, then add the numerator to the product of these two numbers. That will become 11. It gives you 11. Maintain the same denominator, which is what? 4. This becomes an improper fraction. Sorry to say, an improper fraction. This is how you convert mixed fraction to improper fraction. And if you want to convert this improper fraction back to mixed fraction, all you have to do is divide this numerator by the denominator. 4 into 11 will give you 2 whole number, 3 over the same denominator, 4. So this is 4 into 11 gives you 2, remainder 3, the same denominator, which is 4. So this is how you convert an improper fraction, a mixed fraction to an improper fraction, and an improper fraction back to a mixed fraction. It always works, no matter the type, no matter the digits involved. This is a simple thing you have to do to convert them. So a proper fraction most times is in its simplest form, but sometimes you can still simplify it when you have something like 8/16. This is not the simplest form of this fraction. Whenever you are dealing with mathematical processes that involve fraction, you have to bring it to its simplest form. So in this form, you can still divide this to its simplest form. 2 here will give you 4, 2 here will give you 8, It is not yet in its simplest form. 2 can still go, will give you 2. 2 here will still give you 4. Still give you 4. 2 can still go again. 2 here will give you 1. 2 here can still give you 2. So this is the simplest form. So take note of this process while dealing with fractions. So the workings of LCM and BODMAS, we are going to treat them when we deal with addition and subtractions of fractions, multiplications and divisions of fractions. They are all going to come into play. So stay tuned with this channel to watch the next video and understand how you will be able to effectively solve any mathematical problem that involves fractions. Thank you for watching.